Okay, so yes, disco- okay. we were discussing discovery of electron, and that we just found. Let's discuss. Let's me give an overview of the cathode ray. So this inside is a discharge tube by which we attach it a battery that provide high voltage. And what if we just take 1000? You can take any, but the 1000 is an appropriate as compared to the low pressure we'll give. This is a discharge tube which is written here, and this discharge tube has a gas inside. That gas is supposed, like we are supposed to give this as a very low pressure, low air, because it is supposed to be pumped after. Okay, so how exactly this experiment is done? Just the electron, yes, cathode and anode. This is the cathode. Cathode has the negative charge, where this is the anode. Anode has a positive charge. So electron will move from here to there, like will move. This is in the discharge tube. Basically, this is in the discharge tube. So what will happen? These negative will go towards the positive cathode side. Okay. So this means we can say that the positive side repel, or not repel but the attract the negative side. Positive always attract to the negative. Okay, so I'm sure you're getting. Then we just noticed that these rays were invisible. An important point: invisible rays. Whereas if these were invisible, and when these electrons were going, they were reflecting or coming towards this structure. Like after anode, we have one structure which is here as well. This structure. So why is it so? Let me just tell you. Uh, because here, let me just give you one other concept. This is and cathode. This is a cathode. So this is the simple cathode. Whereas if I just make it a pores inside, not pores but the holes. If I make holes in it, so like this mean I can say there is an empty space between, not empty but the space between. So I just call this as a perforated, this line or this rays, this would be the perforated anode. This is anode basically, sorry, this anode is this side, and anode is here, so anode would be perforated anode would be there, which means they have the holes. So if you think that electrons are moving from this part, from this cathode to this, but how it is going to another structure which we have in the end? It's because they're the holes. So when electron will move, it will go through this, and here you will find electrons going, and here you will find a structure, not a structure but the fluorescence simply means having a light. So on this structure you will find fluorescence fluorescence light, and that light fluorescence will be present. This means the invisible rays are going and attracting towards the anode, and then we can say that the light or fluorescence will be produces. So that's why these and if you think that why we have given the name cathode, because from cathode to anode, that's going from cathode, the charge from cathode, the electrons are moving. So we just say these rays which are going are also known as cathode rays. That's why we just give the name which is cathode rays. And if you think how much low pressure we are supposed to give, as we know that if we give high voltage here we can give any, but 1000 is the appropriate. So 1000 is the more amount as compared to the low pressure we'll give. So pressure which we can give 10 is minus 3, whereas in in discrete proton we give 10 is power minus 1. That's a little higher, but that would be another concept. But here you need to know how this has to, how these all work. Electrons attach the battery, not electrons but this is attached with the battery. We have the discharge tube which have the low pressure inside, and here we find green glow, or the fluorescence simply means the light. So light will be gone, pump will back it, and cathode rays are moving